Welcome to week 1 and what is going to be the official start of VGC Bootcamp. I'm your host Mike, and today I'm going to go over the team that I'm going to be using for the next couple of months leading up to the Ontario Regionals. The team's probably going to stay pretty similar, it's going to stay the same. I might make some tweaks here or there, but we're going to go over that together. I'm also going to go over things that I've learned from VGC this week, coming into it as a complete noob, not knowing VGC at all, coming from Smogon. And I'm going to talk about things that I've learned about it and things that I'm going to be focusing on for next week. So let's get into it. So here it is. This is my team. We've got Slowpoke, 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 Slowpoke. This one's hardy. I'm kidding. This isn't my team. I'll show you my team. We have Assault Vest, Conkeldurr with Guts, Mach Punch, Drain Punch, Close Combat, and Rock Slide. We've got Babiri Berry Togekiss with Super Luck, Helping Hand, Yawn, Dazzling Gleam, and Follow Me. We've got Life Orb Duraludon with Stalwart, Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, Protect, and Flash Cannon. Focus Sash Whimsicott with Prankster, Charm, Tailwind, Moonblast, and Fake Tears. Citrus Berry Rotom with Levitate, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Protect, and Will-O-Wisp. And Choice Band Conkeldurr with Gorilla Tactics, Icicle Crash, Flare Blitz, U-Turn, and Rock Slide. This is a team that I've been very proud of over the past week. To build it, I decided not to reinvent the wheel, and instead, I did something that a lot of people do. I took something that was successful and I built off of it. A lot of us right now are taking a lot of inspiration from the Dallas Regionals winner, Aaron Traylor, and I am no exception. I took the Togekiss, Whimsicott, Duraludon, and Conkeldurr, all from his team, the exact same builds, the exact same movesets, because they work. And I just decided to kind of add in my own flavor. So I added in a Galarian Darmanitan, and I added in a Rotom Wash. The Galarian Darmanitan, I haven't been able to use in Smogon for a while, and I kind of wanted to see if it was still just as powerful. It is. And the Rotom Wash, I put in just for some extra coverage against ground and flying types. The Will-O-Wisp is helpful, the Protect is helpful, it's kind of bulky. To be honest, I haven't put Rotom Wash in too many of my battles so far, so I'm a little suspicious if it's actually good. But I'm gonna give it another week and see if that works, and if that doesn't, then I'll just switch it out. This team has actually been doing really well for me this week, and I want to preface this next part by saying that I am not VGC experienced. I am not by any means good in the format. I understand Pokemon pretty well, but doubles format has always been something that I've just not been comfortable with. That being said, this week, out of the 8 battles that I did, I went 7 wins and 1 loss. I went from single tier, rank 1, all the way up to, I think it was Pokeball rank 6. The only game that I actually lost this week was the first one I played, which I was super inexperienced and didn't really know what I was doing, and I lost to a guy using a Dynamax Delibird. So that was fun. I didn't record that one, but I'm kind of kicking myself for not recording it, because I mentioned on the podcast a couple weeks ago that I wanted to see someone sweeping with a Dynamax Delibird, and lo and behold, the first one that I play, sitting down on my couch, just trying out VGC in the comfort of my own home, I lost to somebody using a D-Max Delibird. So I guess I kind of spoke that one into existence, huh? Anyway, here are 3 things that I learned from playing VGC this week. Number 1, Togekiss's Yawn is perfect for shutting down Dynamax Pokemon. You can set up a Yawn if you know a Pokemon will be Dynamaxing that turn, and you can effectively shut down the remaining 1 to 2 turns of Dynamax on the opponent's side, leaving you with enough time to set up, maybe focus a Pokemon down, or whatever else you need to do. In my games, I like to use it to set up my heavy hitters like Darmanitan or Duraludon, who are my most likely Dynamax Pokemon themselves. Number 2, everybody brings Whimsicott. Okay, maybe not everybody, but according to Pikalytics, almost 30% of teams will use a Whimsicott. Lots of people right now are putting Taunt on their Whimsicott to shut down other Whimsicotts, but most of the time it's to set up a Tailwind. If you can take advantage of knowing that, you can use the combo of Fake Tears and your partner's special attack to shut down the Whimsicott's partner, or even the Whimsicott itself. Just make sure you remember that Whimsicotts will often run a Focus Sash to stay alive. Number 3, weather can save or end your game. Sometimes you'll get lucky and take a hit from a D-Max Pokemon that brings you right down to 1 HP. Unfortunately, there's Sandstorm up, so you think you're going down, right? Not necessarily. Depending on the max move used, weather's going to change. Suddenly, it's not a Sandstorm up anymore. It's Harsh Sunlight or Sunny Day, which means that your Pokemon are going to be able to stay up another turn. I don't know if I would have lost this game, and to be honest, I don't think I would have, but it definitely taught me a lesson that I'm going to try not to forget. I mentioned before too that I'm a little suspicious of Rotom Wash. The big reason for that is that I just haven't found a decent place to use it yet. I think of the 8 games that I played, I only decided to bring it in maybe 1 or 2 of them. The interesting thing about VGC though is that you can bring in 4 out of the 6 Pokemon that you decide to use, which means that might actually have all been on me. That might have been my conscious decision not to bring in a Rotom onto those teams. So this week, I'm going to be very conscious of that. I'm going to think, is Rotom actually a good use for my team right now? If I keep seeing it as not something worth bringing in, then I might want to think about switching it out for next week. That's one of the things that I'm going to be working on. I also didn't start using Yawn on Togekiss until later this week, and I still haven't found a time to use Follow Me, which nearly all Togekisses bring. I think that's just my inexperience in VGC though, because in singles you just don't use Follow Me. It's not something that you need to use. So I'm going to be trying to look for times that I can use that this week, because I'm not having problems bringing Togekiss in. I'm just having problems using anything except for Yawn, Protect, and Dazzling Gleam. What I'm most interested in though are your experiences with VGC. So if you wouldn't mind, take a couple minutes, write down some of your stories in the comments down below, or send it to us on Twitter with the hashtag VGCBootcamp. I'm gonna pick out some of my favorites next week, and I'm gonna be reading them out right here. Until then, that's gonna be the end of today's video. Keep on playing, and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of VGC Bootcamp. Make sure you check out this week's Pokesports podcast, which is all about Pokemon Home and what it'll do to the game once it actually comes out. You can check us out on Patreon or Instagram at Pokesports Podcast, or on Twitter at Pokesports Pod. I'll see you next week.